Last Sunday, the Armenian orphan boys in Georgetown, Ontario, fasted all day. It was Golden Rule Sunday. Some of the money they saved by not eating was sent to Jerusalem to help other Armenian orphans. There are many orphaned Armenian children in the world because in 1915, the Turkish government tried to destroy the Armenian people. Some of them survived. The Armenian Relief Association of Canada brought out about 100 Armenian boys to Canada from different orphanages in Greece and the Middle East.
We all live and work together on a 200-acre farm. There's wheat, oats, barley, and vegetables. And there's an orchard with cherry and apple trees. We raise cows, pigs, horses, and chickens. All us boys help out.
We sleep together in 2 big dormitories. It's very comforting to have my friends close beside me at night. But sometimes, my best friend Onig has terrible nightmares about how his parents died.
All us kids have had horrible experiences. My friend Sahag was only 3 when the genocide started. When the Armenians were massacred, he was really hurt and they thought he was dead. An American missionary found him and took him to a hospital. For 2 years, poor Sahag was in the hospital. Then they put him in one orphanage after another. He can remember only his sister's name, Ani, and his father's first name, Vartan. So they called him Vartanyan, which means the son of Vartan.
That's why the Georgetown Boys, as they are called, made a big fuss when the Armenian Relief Association of Canada tried to change their names to English ones. The boys told the association that their names were all they had left of their past, and they wanted to keep their own Armenian names. Adjusting to Georgetown in the early days was difficult. The children spoke almost no English, and the staff knew no Armenian. Finally, Mr. Alexanian was hired.
He's become our interpreter, our teacher, and our friend. Later on, they brought in Bedukian Mama. She tells us stories in Armenian, mostly about God. She mends our clothes and even cooks pilaf for us. That's such a treat.
In spite of their feelings of safety in Canada, some of the boys were very lonely in the first few months. They were in a new land, with strange food, a different language, and unfamiliar customs and ways. Once, a couple of the boys ran away, but they were brought back. At Georgetown, the boys learned a great deal about farming.
To give us experience in different kinds of farm work, we are divided into 9 groups with 10 boys in each. Except for the little kids, we all have our own jobs to do. Every 6 weeks, we rotate our jobs.
We peel potatoes, serve the tables, and wash dishes. We clean our dining hall and dormitories, and that's no fun. The last time I washed the dining room floors, I got 7 slivers in my hands.
We chop wood, milk the cows, feed the pigs, and look after the horses and chickens.
Earlier this year, we drained some land and made our own garden plots. We grow cucumbers, tomatoes, onions, and lettuce. Sarkis calls his plot Ararat Farm. Kerams is Yerevan Farm. Harotuns is Erzurum Farm.
I call mine the Garden of Eden. A group of the boys went together and they call theirs New Armenia. The produce from our gardens goes right to our kitchen, but we sell our eggs, cherries, and apples to make money to help our farm.
The boys go to school right on the farm, half a day for 5 days. Mr. Alexanian and Mr. Lane teach mainly English, Armenian, and arithmetic. The second half of the day is set aside for chores.
Every morning we have flag-raising ceremonies, and every evening we sing songs in English and Armenian, say our prayers, and go to bed.
On Sundays, we all go to church in Georgetown, and then we come back to have Sunday school on our farm.
As there is no Armenian church in Georgetown, the kids attend either the Baptist, Presbyterian, United, or Anglican church.
Most of our group enjoy singing. We even have our own choir. My friend Haigas has the best singing voice of all. He's lucky. He always gets chosen to go on concert tours.
Our best trip was to Detroit, Michigan. Can you believe that by raffling off 24 dozen eggs from our farm, selling Georgetown calendars, and selling tickets for our concerts in Armenian and English, we raised $17,000 for our farm home?
Under the supervision of Mr. Alexanian, the children publish a monthly newspaper. This keeps them in touch with Armenians all over the world. It also gives the young people practice in writing their two languages and helps them locate surviving relatives. The newspaper has a circulation of almost 2,000 in 37 different countries. Zaven wrote an article in Ararat recently about his new home in Aramosa, Ontario. He was sent out as a foster child to the farmer, Mr. Hindley. In his article, he says,
I get up at 5:30, milk the cows, feed the cattle, and clean the stalls. Then I have breakfast. At 8:30, I leave for school, which is a half-hour's walk away. At 4 o'clock, I go home, feed the chickens, and do the same chores as I did in the morning. After dinner, I start my homework at 8 o'clock.
I have been very pleased with him, wrote Mr. Hindley. We have found him obedient, unselfish, cheerful, and willing to do any work he is asked to do.
Even though we all work hard here, we have fun too. We dug up a swimming pool for ourselves, and we all like to swim in our pond. In winter, our pond is frozen over and we go skating on it. Last winter, 3 of the boys were in a hurry to start skating. They fell in and got soaked.
We also fish in our river. I remember how excited I was when I saw my first trout in the river. And I couldn't believe it when I caught my first fish.
Some of us play baseball and football. We have a good time climbing trees, and in winter, we love to go sledding and skating. In March, we fly kites, and all year long we play leapfrog and hide and seek. We spend some of our spare time collecting stamps. I have 2 stamp albums in my trunk.
We enjoy playing with the animals, especially our 2 dogs, Jigs and Maggie. Maggie's a lot of fun, especially when we dress her all up.
Now and then they do naughty things and they get punished. Most of them don't like porridge.
I remember when we first came to Georgetown on July 1st, 1923. They gave us this wonderful new food, which they called sandwiches. The next morning, they served us porridge. We'd never eaten porridge before. We tried it. It was awful, and we said, "Ugh, we can't eat this miserable stuff."
Once I refused to eat my porridge. I hate it. I threw it in the garbage, but I got caught. Our superintendent took me to his house, sat me down in the kitchen with my porridge in front of me, and said, "You'll get no food until you finish that porridge." I finally finished it, but oh, I was pretty sick.
Once I didn't get caught. Kevork and I were in the strawberry patch, eating strawberries. They were so sweet and juicy. Suddenly, Mr. Adams appeared and asked us what we were doing. It's a good thing Kevork was quick-witted. He said we were playing weeds. That evening, we were praised for doing extra work.
Some of us have relatives who also survived the genocide. I have a sister and a grandmother in Egypt. My poor mother died of typhoid fever in the refugee camp at Corfu.
Garo's mother is still alive. He misses her a lot. They write to each other all the time. He's so lucky. He loves the Bible she gave him.
Because some of the boys have no one left in the world and others have relatives who are very far away, they've become each other's family. They depend on each other and trust one another.
We are going to grow up, work hard, and be successful. When an important man came to Georgetown to visit, he said, "You're all doing so well that I expect at least one of you to become a member of Parliament or even the Prime Minister of Canada."
When the Armenian Bishop of Boston came here for a visit, he remarked, "You are living in a free country now, and you have every chance to be good Armenian boys and good Canadian boys. Never forget your heritage and your ancient language and culture, and always contribute your talents and energy to the country that gave you refuge."